So you might have heard of this statement, seek you first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So obviously this comes from Bible. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this single sentence is because I have found and come to realize that understanding and embodying this single sentence is the key to set everybody up for free, set you up for freedom, set you free to be able to live your life desire, to be able to live from the soul's purpose, and to do the things that we are meant to accomplish and experience and fulfill in the 3D physical plane. So what I would like to do today is to really dissect this single sentence and present what it means for me, and hoping that this video and this lesson is going to help you shift some of the perspective for you to be able to become the creator of your own life. So one disclaimer that I have is that everything and anything that I present is not intending to force you to believe what I believe, but to present my perspective to stimulate your point of view. So creating that shift internally possibly enables you to live the life that you feel fulfilling. Because every single one of us is here to demonstrate that, and life happens and many people are stuck. And many people tend to focus on the outside to change. Therefore, they cannot see what's dark inside. But this single sentence exactly states that the place that we want to focus on is not in the outside, but is in the inside. So let's dissect the very first portion of this sentence. Seek you first the kingdom of heaven. So seeking is to sort of lean into something to be able to create growth, to be able to change and shift something to move into a desirable outcome, right? So when you're seeking, for instance, like I have a Facebook group called Soul Purpose Group, and it's for spiritual seekers, right? So people seek spirituality because people in general sort of have different lifestyle and then get influenced by the surrounding. We have society, we have environment, we have family environment, and we have all the information that we can gather, and yet people still feel like something is missing. So spiritual seeker for me is people who living in this physical material world who intuitively feel that there's more to life, the invisible dimension of life that is a foundation. And this is not something that we can sort of prove, because the proving in this physical world is gonna have to do with something that you can measure, right? And the spiritual dimension, the invisible dimension, is an invisible dimension. So the quantifying measurement that we have in this modern, let's say, Western society, that we measure things doesn't work for this quantum field, from the energetic field, for the spiritual dimension. So it's not something that we can prove physically using the physical eyes, but it's something that we intuitively feel. And we don't need to try to prove that to anybody else, but it's more around sharing this idea and what is your experience for you. That's what we want to inquire. So that's what I call spiritual, the people I call spiritual seekers, right? So seek you first. So at the beginning, first of all, you must seek a kingdom of heaven, right? So, I mean, heaven is not a specific location, right? It's not up in the mountain, it's not up, up in the sky, but it's a state of mind. Yeah, seek you first the kingdom of heaven. So many, most of the time we use the term heaven in contrast to the term earth. So Earth is a material, living things that we are experiencing in the 3D physical dimension, right? We have this space-time reality, and Earth is where we belong to. But this sentence says, seek you first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all these things added unto you. So there's 3 segments. Seek you first. So the assumption of this statement is that we're here to experience happiness. We're here to experience love. We're here to experience freedom. We're here to experience the most out of what we can possibly experience in this 3D physical plane, to be able to enjoy, be in the energy of joy, to relate and connect, and to create a meaningful life. Yeah. Life that we move from the place of purpose, life that we are led by the soul's, the urge of the soul, so we can feel connected, so we can feel valuable and meaningful. Now, seek you first the kingdom of heaven, right? So heaven is a state of mind. So what this sentence is saying is that, okay, we're a spiritual being and we're gifted with the tool called mind. Yeah. Now, the heaven is a state of mind. So heaven is an invisible dimension, and the earth is the visible dimension, 3D world. The heaven, for me, is the mind. It's the 4th dimension, right? Invisible dimension is the mind, but the mind can go to 2 different directions. The mind can go to a survival mode, having destructive thoughts, negative emotions, and limitation in the belief, or the mind can have all the possibilities, all the joyfulness, all the love, all the constructive thoughts, feelings, emotions, and unlimited, limitless belief to be able to create. And the more we lean into that positive side, that empowering side, that expansive side, now we're creating an image of ourselves and an image of the world in the screen of our mind. And the kingdom of heaven is an imagery that we have, we can create, we can construct in our mind about everything. So it's interesting, right? Let's talk about reality versus my reality, because reality is what is, right? So gravity exists. When you see the physical world, you see tree, you see sky, you see mountain, you see ground, you see water. Reality just is. My reality or your reality is different from reality, because my reality, your reality will be filtered through our perceptions. So what I experience is my reality. What you experience is your reality. That's another reason that I don't force any of my belief to be your belief, because the moment I speak, I'm projecting based on my belief. The moment you listen to, you are filtering through your perception. So there's gonna be some sort of difference in the uniqueness in a way we create our internal experience, interpretation, based on the filter that we filter through that information, right? Even the external reality that we have, we create an internal experience based on the perception and perspective that we form. Now, and that becomes individual's reality. So the state of the mind, the kingdom of heaven, the garden that we construct in our mind to perceive the external reality is what we want to nurture first. That's what it means by seek you first the kingdom of heaven. Kingdom is the garden of the mind. And kingdom of heaven is that the mind needs to be God-filled. G-O-D, God-filled, to be filled with good things, right? To be filled with positive things, to be filled with empowering things, to be filled with expansive things, to be able to see the possibility and potential instead of shifting into focusing on limitation and negativity. And what that really means is that every single interaction and encounter that we have, speaking with people or talking to people, we want to be able to see God in them. We want to be able to see God in every single moment. You can use that term God if you are feeling comfortable and energized. You want to be feeling energized when you hear the word, right? And then interesting, right? So this term God itself has a different perception, interpretation based on your background or your surrounding or your current understanding, right? So if that is not working for you, I also use the term sacred and miracle and meaningful, right? So when you get up in the morning and when you're breathing, do you see and feel that experience as just another day, another mechanical day? Or are you able to immerse yourself with the overwhelming gratitude because it's miracle that you exist with your breath and to be able to have a full experience, right? So that perception is highly sacred. That perception sees the miracle in the moment. And whenever we are in that, what I call divine perception, you're embodying God. So can you see yourself as sacred being? Can you see every single mistake that you see in people as perfection? Because everything that you see in somebody is you're seeing actually yourself through somebody. Because you can only see the light and the darkness in others when you have that in you. Yeah. So it's interesting, right? The outside happens as a mirror effect of our inside. You cannot experience without having that component inside of you. So when you see something in somebody or some situation or circumstance, you're seeing, but what you're seeing is a projection of your inner being. Yeah. In the perception that you're forming. So seek you first a kingdom of heaven is to be able to wear the lens and the divine perception to see God in ourselves, in our surrounding, in every single interaction, encounter, and happening. And when you start feeding your inside with God quality, with the sacred quality, with the miracle quality, with something that is extremely meaningful, then you are at the place where you are ready to enjoy a full experience, because your experience is only going to be filtered through your perception. So when you have that embracing, open, welcoming attitude inside, developing that God attitude, you are going to be immersed and filled with a full experience. Yeah. Now, let's go over to the second section, and it's righteousness, right? So, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So, its righteousness for me means that we humans are designed and born to live a life of our desire, right? So let's say if you have an ideal version of life. Now, notice that thinking about the ideal version of life is a healthy thing, very healthy thing. Now, when you start looking at that and focusing on the lack thereof, and when you start creating a judgment around not having, then your thought patterns start drifting into an unhealthy pattern. Yeah. So I want to make sure that I communicate clearly that each one of us can possibly have an ideal life. You know, what is the life that you want to be living? What is the life that you feel uh, fully expansive and limitless, and you feel so good, right? So good and feeling so good. And when you have that ideal in your mind, and you might not be living that in your current life, right? And righteousness is our right, the 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 birthright that we were given to live a life of our desire. So when you seek you first the kingdom of heaven, and when you attain the perception of divine, and when you feel yourself with God, when you feel your surrounding with God, because you are now wearing that lens and the perception, then you will begin able to um, execute that birthright of living the life of your desire. Because when you entertain your inside, the mind first, that birthright will be fulfilled. And then the last section is all these things shall be added onto you, means that the external 3D circumstance, physical world life will correspond to your God attitude, to your divine perception, to your energy, frequency, and vibration that you are nurturing and cultivating inside in the state of the mind, to be able to feel expansive, to be able to feel empowering, to owning the power, to think and feel, emote and believe positively, to feel an infinite potential and possibility. And then the outside life, right? It could be relationship, it could be work, it could be health, it could be all of the above, will begin meeting that state of mind, because now you're choosing you, embodying God, embodying the divine self, and that righteousness, you're choosing your birthright to be expressed in this physical world. The 3D physical world, the earth versus heaven, right? You cannot express only in the heaven. You start forming the idea and the frequency in the kingdom of heaven, the garden of the mind, and you express that in this 3D physical earth. That is the relationship with the heaven and earth. So there you have it. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, whatever that you're seeking in your life right now, and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you on this earth plane. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.